Dear students, welcome to Bangladesh and Global Studies online class. Students, we have been discussing about chapter 1 Colonial Age and the Liberation War of Bengal. Today, we will discuss lesson 7 and 8 Renaissance in Bengal and emergence of the state of Pakistan. In the last class, we discussed from this point the first para. Today, we will discuss from the next, that is second para of this lesson. So, let's start today's lesson. Lesson 7 and 8 Renaissance in Bengal and emergence of the state of Pakistan. The establishment of a printing press at Srirampur in 1821 also played a positive role in inspiring the people of Bengal. The printing press facilitated the printing of books and thus to spread out education among the educated people. The sensitive people now started to cast their attention to the development of the society. They started to criticize the injustice of the rulers, and in the same way they made self-criticism about the injustice of the society. Many came forward to create public opinion by publishing newspapers in Bengali language. Raja Ram Mohan Rai and Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar have laid the foundation of society reform. Birojio Vidyasagar created awareness of freedom in the open mind. Bengali language and literature were developed by Vidyasagar, Bankim Chandra, Michael Madhusudan and Rabindranath. The contribution to Bengali literature of Mir Mosharraf Hossain, Sharat Chandra Chattopadhyay and Rabindranath is also very extensive. Though this renaissance, that means reawakening of Bengali people, happened at Kolkata city, the entire Bengal witnessed its indirect result. The flourishing of nationalistic feelings inspired by patriotism is another hallmark of modern education during colonial rule. The desire for independence and democratic rights started to spring up in people's mind. The anti-British movement took its final origin due to the planning of the partition of Bengal in 1905 AD. But the British rulers wanted to convey that the reason behind was the benevolence of the country. That time, the periphery, that means boundary line of Bengal, was very large. Eastern Bengal, Western Bengal, Bihar and Orissa constituted the greater Bangla. So, it was difficult for the Kolkata based British rulers to exercise good governance in remote regions. For this, development work in Eastern Bengal, Bihar and Orissa was not possible. In 1903, British Viceroy Lord Curzon proposed that Bengal would be divided into two provinces for the sake of exercising good governance. A new province named East Bengal would be formed, declaring Dhaka its capital. The control of this province would be in the hands of a lieutenant governor. Though there were logical grounds Many of the Kolkata-based educated Bengalis expressed their doubt in this government decision. They thought that dividing Bengal, the British rulers wanted to breach the communal harmony between the Hindus and the Muslims. Most of the people of Eastern Bengal were Muslims. They thought that with the emergence of a new province, development work would be strengthened, but the educated Hindu leaders protested against the division of Bengal. For this reason, the gap between the two communities increased. Indian National Congress was the only non-communal Indian political organization. But most of the great leaders of Congress were Hindus. They raised their voice against the partition of Bengal without consulting with the Muslim leaders. So, a new calculation arose among the Muslim leaders that they would need a political platform of their own to secure their demands. Consequently, in 1906 AD, an organization named Muslim League was reformed in Dhaka. The attention of the British was materialized. The conflict between the two sects was made clear after the division of Bengal in 1905 AD. The Bengali Hindu leaders increasingly insisted upon the British that partition of Bengal would not be wise. They started some movements which are Swadeshi movement, non-cooperation movement, Swaraj movement and armed revolution. Through these movements, patriotism grew among the mass people of the country and they became united. It is undeniable that a gap was widening between the Hindu and the Muslim leaders. Many educated Bengalis expressed their view that the British had a different intention behind the partition of Bengal. They wanted to weaken the people, breaking the inter-communal harmony so that they, that is mass people, could not form any united movement against the British. This ill purpose of the British was almost fruitful. Nevertheless, an anti-British movement was formed throughout the whole India subcontinent. At that time, the main leadership has been shifted from the Bengali leaders. The British started to apply divide Bangla, rule Bangla formula to divide the Bengali leaders again. As a consequence, Indian National Congress was being counted as the political group of the Hindus and Muslim League was being known as the political organization of the Muslims. Due to this attitude, several clashes occurred between the Hindu and Muslim leaders and among the general people of the two sects. As a matter of fact, the non-communal attitude was reducing from the political arena of this country. Bengali leader A.K. Fazlul Haq placed the formula of dividing India on the basis of a two-nation theory in 1940 AK. 1940. AD. Then A.K. Fazlul Haq tabled this formula at a Muslim League conference held in Lahore. At this, the people of Bengal were divided on the basis of their religion, Muslim or Hindu. India was divided in 1947 on the basis of the two-nation theory of Lahore Proposal. At the far end, efforts were also made to keep Bengal undivided, but the election in 1946 and the riots in Kolkata and Noakhali made it impossible. East Bengal became independent from the British as a part of Eastern Pakistan. But this was not the true independence of the people of Eastern Bengal. The Pakistani rulers enforced their torture and exploitation over the people of Eastern Bengal. Truly speaking, the people of East Bengal had to start their movement again from the 14th August 1947 to achieve independence in the real sense. Dear students, we finished this chapter after discussing lesson 7 and 8. Hope you have understood the full chapter, chapter 1, Colonial Age and the Liberation War of Bengal. Please, you should practice all the lesson of this chapter, chapter 1, more and more. Practice at home. Students, we will say again. Till then, you should take care of yourself and your family. Goodbye and thank you all.